What's up guys, it's Austin and welcome to today's storytime video. This is going to be about all the stuff with Zozo that has been going on lately. And yes, Zozo the demon is back in my life. If you guys don't remember, 3 years ago, I played a Ouija board. It worked. All my friends played it at this abandoned mine entrance. Long story short, I got followed home by Zozo and a lot of weird stuff would happen, like lights flickering, a whole bunch of stuff that just normally would not happen with my other haunting. And I mean, some of the same things would happen with my other haunting that was there too, but not so much all of the same things. As I was looking back at the footage of what happened in last week's video, if you have not seen it, I actually talked to Zozo through the SS method, which is plugging headphones, noise canceling headphones specifically, into a spirit box, which blurts out radio signals at a very fast millisecond with white noise, and spirits can use that to communicate with you. And I got some very creepy answers, and I will be briefly recapping those in this video, but I think I've realized why Zozo might be back in my life. I still have this. No, this is not the one from 3 years ago, but yes, I still have the Ouija board. This one is from 2022. Once I told people that I still had it, they're just like, dude, just get rid of it. There is a very specific process to get rid of this thing. It's not just you throw it out and then it just is all good. I've heard when people throw these things out, it'll come back, it'll show up in weird places around your house. Basically what you have to do with getting rid of a Ouija board is you have to find a spot to bury it, for one. I would recommend probably not burying it near your house. That's probably an obvious one. But number two, you also have to break it into 7 pieces and put holy water on it, and then you bury it. It's a very kind of complicated process. And right now, since it's winter, I cannot do that because the ground is so hard and not soft to dig up anything that I would have to wait until spring or summertime just to get rid of it. So I'm stuck with this thing until pretty well next year. Unless I don't want to get rid of it, then that's all on me. So recapping last week's video, I'm noticing that there were probably 2 spirits in the conversation. One that was telling me Zozo was there, the other one obviously being Zozo, the one really talking to me the whole time. There was a certain point in the video where I would ask if he was here or something like that. Zozo would say I'm in, and then the REM pod would go off. I'm in? Where are you in? And then there was a point where it said, he's here or he's in here. I'll play that clip right now too. So you're in this room right now, Zozo. I heard yes, he is. And that clip made me realize, I'm just like, damn, there's 2 spirits in here talking to me. It's not just Zozo, there's something else telling me that he is in here, but also Zozo is saying I'm in, basically saying I'm in here too, and then touching the REM pod. So there is a couple spirits in this house. Now, this story time segues into some things that are very creepy, because these are new things actually that I have not really experienced ever. So 3 years ago when I had the Zozo haunting, like I said, very different things would happen compared to my Shadow Man haunting, which was happening at the exact same time. Zozo did not last as long. He lasted about 5 to 6 months, whereas the Shadow Man lasted about 3 years. I don't know if you guys remember, but in my last video, I asked Zozo, are you going to haunt me just as bad as the old house, or somewhere to that degree? The REM pod goes off. Are you gonna haunt this house just as bad? I'm like, okay, I guess we'll just see what happens. He's haunting it very differently this time. This is a different house. This is not my old house, obviously. If you guys have not been keeping up with the channel lately and you're new here, I moved 3 months ago, but he followed me because I have this thing. I know there's gonna be a million comments saying throw it away. Let's get into the stories of what has happened in the past week since that video last week. The first story starts, I am laying on my bed, just watching TV, watching YouTube and stuff, and all of a sudden my light starts flickering. I'm like, oh, this has not happened before in my room. This is probably a Zozo thing because our power is fine. I know that. I talk to our landlord sometimes and he always says our power is really good. So just like the last house, Zozo could be messing with our power. So that was kind of just like a little okay, he could be here, or it could just be the light dying. But these lights that are in our house last thousands upon thousands of hours. guitars. So there is really no reason for them to die at all. And it's not dead. It has not died. It is completely fine. It's just flickering very weirdly. It's not strobing like a concert light really harshly. It's just doing like little flickers. The second story, and this is where it gets really weird. This is where the new activity comes into play. This is something Zozo did not do in the past during my haunting 3 years ago. So I'm sitting on my bed, I'm playing Call of Duty, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, and also I have my door open too. And usually I have my door to my room closed. I hear what sounds like my cousin's guitar strum by itself. I hear very clearly what sounds like 3 strings being plucked. And I'm just like, whoa. Immediately I get off my bed because the acoustic guitar my cousin has is just right out my door. So that's why I heard it so well. It's just right behind my wall. So I get up, I go out there and I check and I'm just like, that was the acoustic guitar I heard. I played a note on it and I'm just like, yeah, that sounds exactly like the note I heard. And I'm just like, that's never happened before. That's very new. I've never heard a guitar play in my room, and as you can see, I do have guitars behind me. I own my own guitars, so that was very weird. So now this is the third story of what happened in the past week. This is like paranormal activity movie type of stuff. I don't think I've ever had this happen ever. I was laying on my bed and I swear to God, I looked at my bedroom door. It was closed. I saw what looked like a shadow go right across the door. And I looked at it and I saw it move right across the door. It was almost like it was waiting for me to look in that corner of the room. And I'm just like, I was like in shock the whole time. I barely had a reaction. And you know what's really weird? I just went right back to what I was doing, almost like I was unfazed by it. I had a scared reaction for like a few seconds. And then after that, I'm just like, oh, okay. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. It was so weird. I'm just like, a shadow just walked by my door. And like, it took my brain a while to process it. And once I thought about it like a few hours later, I'm just like, wait, no, that was an actual figure that walked in front of my door. And it wasn't like a super dark shadow. It was almost like this photo from the Paranormal Activity movie right here, but just a lot lighter of a shadow. It wasn't that dark. I'm trying to debunk it. And I'm just like, there's no way someone else's shadow could have been casted on the wall at that time. Cause one, it's not mine. I was laying down. So there's no way that was my shadow standing that freaking tall. And my window, even if someone was right outside my window, the way my windows are situated and the height that they're at, there is no way that someone's full-on body would just be right on my doorway as a shadow just walking across. And thirdly, this thing was like 8 to 9 feet tall. I'm not even kidding. It was as tall as the door frame. I'm 6 foot. This thing was like 8 or 9 foot. I cannot explain that whatsoever. And I've never seen something like that before. The only thing I can kind of compare it to is when I saw a shadow figure up in the window at a haunted elementary school, which I actually investigated recently in the past couple months. I suggest you go check out that video. It was released in October. But this was different. This was in my room. This was a figure walking by the door. And guess what? It started walking from where this is hidden. So where this is in my room is where the shadow started walking, and it was walking away from it. That was a very terrifying experience. But yeah, seeing a shadow in my room that's 9 feet tall really freaked me out at first. Again, don't ask me why I didn't even react much to it after that. Like, I just kind of went back to what I was doing and then thought about it more later. I'm just like, oh God, that was really creepy. Like, what the hell was that? I need to talk about this in a story time. That's never happened to me before in my life. Having a shadow just go and it's not like it just walked off. As it was walking, it was fading as it walked across the door. So by the time it got from one end of the door to the other, it was disappearing as it was walking to the other end. So now that I'm kind of done talking about the stories that have happened, I'm going to go over a comment that I got. Somebody said, if you want Zozo to talk more, like maybe you should try like the Ouija board alone. And guys, I've done this so much in the past, even now with that one. It does not work. I don't know how many times you have to try to do it to get it to work. It just does not work. I believe that it only works with like another person that's with you or maybe other people, but it for some reason does not work by yourself. And I have yet to see it work by myself. So until it does, I'm gonna say it just flat out doesn't. So I guess the part that we're kind of leaning into now, and you guys are probably wondering this, are you gonna contact Zozo again in some kind of seance that doesn't have to do with the board? I don't know. I might, I may not. I might just wait and see what other activity might happen. But at this point, I'm just kind of living this and just seeing what happens this time. Because compared to 3 years ago, he's doing very different stuff. And the fact that that 9-foot tall thing, that shadow, whatever the hell it was, walked by my door and allowed me to see it was so creepy. I'm just like, that's Zozo. That is so scary. And I know I'm smiling right now, but I am actually terrified on the inside. I've never seen that before. There are things that you want to see on this channel throughout the winter time that are easier for me to record because it is so cold out right now. Just drop them in the comments below. Give me like a 3 a.m. challenge you might want to see that I have not done yet, please. I see a lot of you commenting stuff that I've already done. Not that it's your fault, but like some of you are new and I get it. There's a 3 a.m. challenges playlist on my channel. Just go to the playlist tab. You might have to scroll down a little bit to find it, but it's there. There's like probably 28 3 a.m. challenges in there as I speak. So just take a look in that, kind of get a gauge for what 3 a.m. challenges I've done, and then you guys can comment some down below. But with all that being said, those are my paranormal experiences that I've had lately with Zozo. Very terrifying, very new stuff, and I will make another story time if more stuff happens, which I'm sure a lot will happen. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to please comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.